us away. So we got some new information. We're gonna do some fast news. We got some new information from the White House. I'm pleased to inform our many U.S.A. Patriots that I am designating Antifa a sick, dangerous, radical left disaster as a major terrorist organization. President Donald J. Trump, I am pleased to inform our many U.S.A. patriots that I am designating Antifa a sick, dangerous, radical left disaster as a major terrorist organization. I will also be strongly recommending that those funding Antifa be thoroughly investigated in accordance with the highest legal standards and practices. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Damn. There you have it. Trump has finally designated them a terrorist organization. They basically have this organization's pretty large, honestly. It's an international organization. So they have operations in basically a lot of countries, yes. Especially the Western countries. Anyways, let's see what Pam Bondi has to say. CNN, Pam Bondi.
Attorney General Pam Bondi is working to walk back now some of her statements about prosecuting hate speech. The AG is now saying that the department will only go after and prosecute statements that
Antifa members
violence,
have been known to be
was not how she first
making remarks
saying
and going out to
would go after anyone for hate speech,
or protests and
for
causing a
comments
scene.
That the Wall Street Journal editorial board is taking on this morning.
Some of them sometimes have even brought firearms.
Is a basic understanding of the First Amendment too much to expect from the nation's Attorney General? Hate speech is protected by the First Amendment, of course. CNN's Harry Anton is here to run the numbers on this. How are Bondi's comments getting people stirred?
What a disaster for Pam Bondi, and therefore I'm Donald Trump. I'm just.
I mean, I hate to say it, but hate speech is, in a sense, free speech.
I mean, get this. Up like a rocket,
look,
186%.
If free speech encompasses a wide range of speech, yes. So unfortunately, hate speech is included under that umbrella. Now, when it could change to a different type of speech, obviously, if you poke and prod at people too much, right? Because it can turn into harassment, yes. You can turn it into a legal dispute, in a sense, at some point in time, right? So it really depends on the circumstance.
Pam Bondi was already underwater, and I wouldn't be surprised if she goes underwater more. Take a look here. The net popularity of Trump cabinet.
I mean, now if you're trying to threaten people or incite violence, okay, now that's different, right? Now that's a different question.
Now, none of the folks on your screen here are in positive territory, but none of them are as far underwater as Pam Bondi at minus 19 points. Of course, RFK Jr. has been in the news recently, too, but he's well above where Pam Bondi is. He's at minus 7 points. She is more than 10 points more
a good instance for now, right, with everything that's happened is the Charlie Kirk stuff.
The least liked member of Donald Trump's cabinet, and it ain't even close.
And it gets to the difference here, gets to the focus on the topics they've been, the topics they've been taking on.
Right, and even before,
I mean, what is Pam Bondi
people may say, oh yeah, cancel culture, but before Elon Musk took Twitter, X, people were already getting fucking canceled and debanked before then. So, at what point do you say enough is enough? Right?
90% of all adults, 67%
because it's been happening for decades, or for over a decade now,
12%, right? And even among Republicans, you can't even get to 50% approval. And of course, this just goes all the way back. You're building a case step by step by step. Who is the biggest pain in the rear end in the Donald Trump administration for him?
Right, and people have been canceled for much less than what some of these people have been trying to cancel, right, some of these people for.
And we're just going to have to wait and see where it goes. But at this particular point, there's a reason why Pam Bondi is by far the lowest and the least liked member.
I don't know, man. I mean, that's just my
opinion. And you promise something over and over again, and then you don't follow through with it. People do remember that.
Exactly right. And of course, Pam Bondi made some big promises on the Epstein files and could not deliver.
Not so far. John?
All right, with us now, CNN senior political
yeah,
commentator Scott Jennings and Megan Hayes, the former
yeah,
White
some
House
of these
director of
people
message
have
planning under
botched
President Biden.
some of the information
Scott, when it comes
and
to
stuff,
the Attorney
and
General,
have said some things, have made some comments that they shouldn't have made. Yes.
Building, as in the conservative movement, I've been surprised, frankly, by some of the criticism from Eric Erickson, from Matt Walsh, from other people online, saying that what the Attorney General is saying here isn't what we want to be hearing.
Well, what she said to start and where she wound up are two different things, and she did end up walking it back. That was a good thing. But there's a reason they're very upset about this and that they're defensive of free speech is because conservatives, I think, rightly believe that we have been fighting for free speech absolutism because for years it's been the left who's been trying to suppress speech, censor conservatives, and take away our voice. And so when you hear someone adopting sort of the language of the left,
no. Even people on the right side are fucking free speech absolutists.
And say,
right?
we can't go down that road. So the reason
I'm gonna bring
you
up
saw
Trump
these people
a little bit.
out is because they know what the fight
I mean,
for
even
free
though
speech
that some
means
people are
and has
trying to
meant
defame
to the
him,
conservative
so it's
movement
like,
over the last few
right,
years.
that's kind of
It's a little curious
different.
to me, Megan, why she's been targeted in a way
There's
that
obviously
Vice
people
President
making
Vance
inflammatory marks about
maybe
Trump, right?
has not, and others have not. Vice President Vance, in a podcast, basically told people to call their employers.
The reason why I brought up Trump is
call
because he
employers
has
if
some
they
lawsuits.
saw comments being
Or,
made,
right, some
about
news
the
outlets have
assassination
settled.
of Charlie Kirk there. Yet, a lot of people seem more focused on Pam Bondi.
I think people are focused on Pam Bondi because she leads the DOJ and she actually has a lot of power where the vice president does not have a lot of power. He's a supporting character to the president. So I think that people are worried that if they are doing something on Twitter or saying something that the DOJ feels is inappropriate or what they consider hate speech, that they could come after them and make a lot of trouble. And I'm glad she walked the comments back, as Scott said. I think that's really important since it is protected under the First Amendment.
Let's talk about political conventions, which might be happening like tomorrow if all the people involved get their way. President Trump has been musing about the idea of holding some kind of gathering. I guess they could call it a convention. They call it whatever they want. But Megan, to you, the Democrats, I've heard talk about this as well before the midterms. What would the utility of it be?
Oh yeah, apparently there's going to be a midterm
I think it's
convention.
a way to bring the party together to celebrate some of the wins that they've had, to make sure that people are on message and understand what Democrats actually stand for, not what the right or anyone else paints them to stand for. So I do think it's a good thing to do. I do think it is very costly. I'm not sure that's money well spent when we could be out there organizing.
Yeah, he was trying to make a ballroom too.
But that's up to the DNC
well, I mean,
to
apparently
do,
he's spending money, his own money on
the
that.
message that the Democrats want leading into the midterms.
How would you run a convention for the Republicans, Scott?
Well, look, I agree with Megan. I think conventions as a messaging tool can be extremely powerful. You put your best speakers, your best messengers up on the stage. You get a chance to tell stories, not in 3-minute increments, but in long increments. So if it were me, I would certainly be highlighting the successes of the Trump policies. You know, here are the people who are winning under the economy. Here are the successes we're having on the border. I think actually in 2024, we cover the conventions live here on CNN. The Republican messaging really, and particularly coming after the assassination attempt, it was one of the best handled messaging vehicles I've ever seen. I've been to a bunch of them, been a delegate to a bunch of them. So if you could replicate something like that and tell a real story about, we did policy A, here's result B, it could be a great thing and rally your base.
I guess what I don't know or can't quite figure out is how it would be different in a midterm environment where historically you have people turning against the incumbent administration. And so maybe some of the biggest people you could put out are the very people that voters might not be as happy with.
Well, or on the other hand, you put the people out who are the leaders of your party. You have the president, you have the vice president, you have the cabinet, you have leaders in Congress. They're the ones that are entrusted with building the Republican policy machine and building the Republican brand. You give them a chance to talk to the American people.
They're the politicians who are the ones voting and enacting the policies. So they're the ones. They're the representatives of the constituency of America, are they not? Yeah.
And again, for the Democrats in the midterms, Megan, when
they
Democrats
better
have run
fucking do their
successful
job,
midterm campaigns before, it has been having every candidate run their own race in their own way. If you're having a national convention and a national message, does that make it hard for Jared Golden in Maine to have the same type of message that a more progressive Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez would have in Queens, for instance?
I think a lot of what the Democrats can do in a midterm sort of convention is to push back on the narrative that Republicans want. So making sure that people know that they were fighting to keep Medicaid and to keep kids on food assistance programs, and the big beautiful bill is cutting that. So I just think that that's the opportunity there, is to rewrite a message and a narrative that's being pushed against them. But I do think that all politics is local, and what these candidates need in their own districts is going to be very important to getting them reelected and elected.
Megan, are you excited about Master of Ceremonies Mamdani? Because I think it will be amazing for you guys. We're all for it. Just
Are you excited Donald Trump's not on the ballot, so your midterms might not be as successful as they were would be if he was?
This is why I like the convention, because one of the biggest challenges of the Republican Party is to convert Trump-only voters into Republicans, giving them a convention and a president to
Yeah,
rally
honestly, if anything, I think
I think it's a good thing.
I'm surprised people are
see
even
if either
voting
party
for
follows through
fucking
on this,
Mamdani.
and
That
we
was
will
insane.
see.
Well, I
We'll
mean, we
cover it.
saw
That'll
who
be
was
exciting.
voting
All
for
right, Scott Jennings,
Mamdani.
Megan Hayes, thanks to both.
It was
Appreciate it.
liberal white women. White women. Liberal white socialist women.
The Iowa Board of Regents is also considering terminations. Last week, the board acknowledged posts about Kirk's death that were made by both faculty and students. Board members released a statement that reads, "These posts and others like them are offensive, insensitive, and in no way reflect the views of the Board of Regents or its universities." Today, members unanimously approved a new policy to launch investigations into comments made by all staff.
We've seen some appalling things on social media in the last week, and we also understand that some appalling things are protected by the First Amendment. So the purpose of this is to delve in and to see if any of these cross the threshold to where they're so disruptive to the university that they still need discipline in an employment sense.
Under the new policy, universities are required to investigate faculty comments within the next 2 weeks. Employees who are under investigation are to be placed on leave or removed from the classroom. Based on the findings of the investigations, university presidents must take immediate action up to and
hey man, if you're trying to
termination.
teach people to be aggressive, abrasive, and to enact on their impulses and to be flagrant, good luck. You're gonna get tagged, right? Especially if you're a government, because teachers are depending on state to state, teachers get a government credential, they get government credentials. So if they start breaking government procedures, yeah, they're gonna fucking come after you. They're gonna discipline you. Yes. Because you're paid by the you were certified by the government to do a specific contracted out by the government. You earned your contract or certificate by being an upstanding professional person, and then you start breaking that oath, and it's like, yeah, good luck, right? What's this? Douglas Murray exposes media smear on London protests.
The author of international bestsellers, including The Strange Death of Europe, The Madness of Crowds, The War on the West, and his latest on democracies and death cults. Douglas Murray, before we dive into today's issues, I last spoke to you just a couple of hours after Charlie Kirk's murder. How do you see his legacy? He was only 31, but the impact he had on politics,
I mean, you can call Hamas a death cult.
The wider culture was enormous.
Yes, it was.
All the fucking terrorist organizations, they're kind of like death cults.
Since his assassination, that it just really embeds that fact.
Especially when they start spewing religious fucking craziness.
Many others have been incredibly involved.
Starting to step into that
realm. In the case of all of these people, consoling Charlie Kirk's widow and family, and much more, and awarding him posthumously the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Perhaps as importantly, there have also, of course, been
there's even satanic cults that do the death cult bullshit too, right?
of people paying tribute.
So it's like,
to
I
Charlie
mean, be
Kirk.
careful what you wish for,
And,
man.
That's been an incredible thing to see, actually, a huge outpouring.
Oh,
Charlie Kirk
fucking
said
Ted Bundy
he was
or
asked how he
whatever
wanted
his
to be
fucking.
remembered,
Right,
which
he
is
was
a rather
basically a fucking
scary
crazy.
thing in hindsight to
He
think that
was
somebody just out of his
making a
20s
cult
was,
in a sense.
fairly often asked.
Yeah.
He wanted to be remembered for his faith, for his Christian faith. And it's really telling, I think, and a fine tribute to him that the people who have been gathering in tribute to him have not done so in the sort of way that certain sections of society do, by causing businesses to have to board up their shop windows and so on. No, very far from it. They've been gathering in prayer and in vigil. And that's really been an incredibly moving thing to see.
Now, Douglas, President Donald Trump has arrived in the UK to meet with King Charles. He'll be spending the night at Windsor before meeting Keir Starmer at the Prime Minister's residence. This is a historic visit, the first time a US president has had 2 state visits to the UK while in office. Douglas, there's going to be plenty of pomp and pageantry. There'll be further trade talk. What else do you expect to see from this visit? Will President Trump bring up those huge anti-mass immigration protests we've just seen in London?
It's possible that he will. President Trump's been asked about this visit and has stressed that it's really about the king in the royal family, and that's clearly his own passion in accepting this visit. Is his passion for the country of his mother's birth and for the United Kingdom, and especially for the monarchy. He has met Keir Starmer, of course, a number of times since coming back into office. It's an uneasy relationship in lots of ways, and you can see that. Keir Starmer's politics really couldn't be further away from those of President Trump. But on the other hand, the UK needs good trade relations with the US. President Trump and the Trump administration has been pretty generous so far in that, in those negotiations. And I would expect it to go smoothly. And I would imagine, given recent events in America, maybe, just maybe, the domestic anti-Trump left in the UK might keep their usual sort of rude protests down. You'll remember that last time President Trump went to the UK, people like the mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, tried to make it all about themselves, allowed protesters to, I mean, it was within the law, but I mean, sort of insult the guest of the United Kingdom. I imagine there might be a little bit less of that this time. It's hard to say at the moment.
Well, on those protests across, London, certainly, the crowd number there was enormous. But these protests have been variously described by the media as far-right and extremist white nationalists. But let's hear from a couple taking part who
the far-right is doing something shady.
That's ANTIFA husband. We want our children to be able to speak without being persecuted or being arrested.
Oh, but what about U.S.A. ID? Weren't they doing something shady too? It looks like the U.S.A. ID was
of this next woman, a black woman in a hijab, who attended the march
helping terrorist organizations in some form or fashion.
September 13th protest and seeing how many times they get called go back to Africa.
Or at least the stuff we're getting stolen.
But let's see what actually happened and what she had to say after.
I went to the Tommy Robinson protest on September 13th and it was fine. I also went alone as well. I met my friend like 2 hours later in central London, but I was by myself and I went straight to the belly of the beast and I saw nothing but peaceful people, respectful people. I was even interviewing them. I asked them in my last TikTok. They're actually good people and I knew I shouldn't have been afraid. I was never ever going to be afraid because I grew up with English people. I grew up with white people and they've been nothing but polite, respectful. That's their culture, politeness, Britishness, The issue is a lot of minority cultures for them have become the predominant culture in areas of the UK like London, Liverpool, Manchester, Luton, to the point that these towns and cities become unrecognisable.
Douglas, she gets it better than 95% plus of the media.
Yeah, I mean, good for her in one way. I mean, it's sort of absurd that in the country she lives in, she thinks there's a kind of belly of the beast, which is a protest like this. Good for her for acknowledging that she was wrong and was misjudging her countrymen and women. It's an astonishing thing to see this, Rita, because Tommy Robinson's Unite the Kingdom protest gathered a very large number of
just
people
because Tony Robinson had a rough past doesn't mean like people can, fix their fucking issues, right?
I always say they're larger and the police always say they're smaller. But it was a very much more peaceful event than any of the media wanted to admit it might be, or indeed in the end was. There were some
Hey, as
arrests,
long
but
as you
infinitely
take
fewer
the
than, let's say,
necessary
that great
precautions
celebration
and
of
steps to
multicultural
fix
diverse
your
London and Notting
issues,
Hill
no
Carnival,
one's
where there were
gonna
always
fucking
dozens of
hate you.
arrests
Yeah.
and
I mean, you might have some
stabbings and
people who might
sexual
still
assaults
hate
and
you
so on.
because, right, you might
The
have
Tommy
slighted
Robinson
them,
United Kingdom
right,
event went off
in the
peacefully.
past that they
He went
they
off
won't
positively.
forgive
I
you
watched
for,
a
but
relay of
I mean, at the
what
end of the
happened from the
day, they
stage.
can forgive you
It
or
wasn't
not.
anything like a white supremacist, white nationalist thing. There was a black
You
gospel
gotta
choir.
move
There were some
on.
Maoris doing one of their, the chants and things, and the haka, and it was all very, good natured. Some of the speakers talked about the things that
New
clearly
Zealand.
are
Oh yeah,
worrying,
yeah, New
my fellow
Zealand. They
Brits.
were
I
doing
mean,
like the
things
haka
like,
dance.
yes, the mass illegal migration, the fact that people who describe themselves as white British
The
find themselves to
fucking
be a
basically
minority
the
in
warrior
every
dance.
major English city. That's a big one. I mean, that's not like an imaginary fear. That's just something that has actually happened without their asking for it. In fact, asking for it not to happen for generations now. There was a significant expression of concern about the rape gangs in the north of England and indeed across all of England, and much more. But it was very peaceable. And one of the things that's striking about it all, Rita, is not just the misrepresentation of it, but the fact that it'd be actually very hard to imagine.
The misrepresentation, and it looks like the police were in on it too.
Raise any kind of mobilized, group of people.
Some of the police
for
departments
positive
were covering
celebration
it
of
up.
Britishness in this way. There were bishops of the Church of England who all came out to condemn the event. But one of the things notable about it was the prevalence of Christianity in it. There was a bishop from a rather pretty sect who opened with a prayer, and there were calls for Christian revival at the event, all of which was very interesting. But isn't it fascinating that at this time when it's clearly a need in Britain for a positive vision of the country, for pride in the country, and much more, so much of the almost all of the political class, almost all the media, and everyone else doesn't want to be within a million miles of these people, and indeed doesn't even speak to these people. And good for that girl.
Basically, they're out
for
of
realizing
touch.
that actually, if they did speak to most of these people, they would realize they're not some sort of, trolls you can't approach, who are dangerous, white supremacist, nationalist, Nazi, KKK, etc.
Yeah, they start throwing those fucking.
Want their country to revive itself.
Yeah, why do you start trying to why are you trying to lump these people who aren't even a part of these these terrorist organizations? Like, what? People are just normal people. What the fuck are you doing? Anyways, there you have it. Douglas Murray on Australia.
In the case of a body found in the trunk of a Tesla registered to the singer
we
David,
were looking over
authorities
this one.
have identified the victim as Celeste Rivas Hernandez.
She was 13 years old when she was reported missing last year in Lake Elsinore. KTLA's Kimberly Cheng live in Hollywood with more. Kim?
Musician had a fucking apparently
the LA County Medical Examiner's Office did confirm
his car was in the compound for some reason, and apparently while it was in the compound there was a missing teenager found in his fucking
Her
trunk.
name was Celeste Rivas Hernandez, and she'd been
like,
missing for more than a year.
What the fuck?
The decomposed body found in the front trunk of a Tesla belonging to singer David, now confirmed to be the young teenager.
We're just grieving.
A man who identified himself as her brother shared those words to describe the anguish their family has been going through since Hernandez disappeared from their Lake Elsinore home April 5th, 2024.
It's horrible.
This was last
she was
year.
Really young. It's really sad. She was my neighbor. She was just, it's kind of surreal seeing, someone grow up and then just right before your eyes, they're gone.
The Tesla was registered in Texas to David Anthony Burke, the singer's real name. It
Oh
was impounded
no!
at Hollywood Tow
He's got
after
his
being
nails
discovered
painted like
abandoned in the
Hassan.
Hollywood Hills.
It's really upsetting. We noticed it was wrecked and really banged up and not moving anywhere and really dusty.
Investigators discovered the body September 8th after receiving reports of a foul odor. Police have not named a suspect and remain tight-lipped. According to TMZ, Hernandez's mother said Celeste had a boyfriend named David and said she had a distinctive tattoo.
The letters SHH, which apparently this guy David has a similar tattoo.
Retired LAPD Detective Moses Castillo expects the singer will be questioned thoroughly.
Jesus!
He's a registered owner of that vehicle. We
His
need to know
similar
where he's
tattoo,
been.
man.
Look
Oh
at
my
his timeline,
god!
look at his cell phone records. Look at his cell site location. And figure out where he's been all this entire time. And just connect the dots.
David David has been on tour and
They
continued to
looking
perform
too good,
as a
man.
homicide investigation unfolded.
Yeah, it's not like it's.
David was expected to perform a second show in Seattle tonight.
Yeah,
but
but
that show
he's
has
under
since been
investigation,
canceled.
I
He's
bet.
also
Holy
scheduled to perform
fuck.
at the Greek Theater
God
this weekend. No word on whether or not that event will go on as planned. Reporting live in Hollywood, Kimberly Chang, KTLA 5 News.
Fucking
Kimberly,
wild.
thank you. New
Right, it's shit like that where it's just like, I don't. Oh boy. Right. Oh boy.
Now to a story you will see only
What's
on
this?
5. Neighbors in West Hills fear
Drone
burglars
flying.
are turning to drones to case homes
Sounds
they want to
about
hit.
right.
A resident has surveillance video that shows several flashlight beams shining onto her property.
That video also shows a drone
Yeah.
high in the sky. Mary Beth McDade live in West Hills
I
with a
mean,
story you'll see
I think,
only on 5.
yeah, this
Mary
was,
Beth.
it was a matter of time.
Yeah, Mike and Jared, you know, for the past few years, we've seen criminals hiding cameras in bushes to case
Correct.
homes, and
Correct.
now one West Hills
Now
woman
they're getting
fears
drones.
that someone may be using a drone to case hers.
Last Saturday, we were at home and we got a call from the neighbor or a text and said somebody's in your backyard with flashlights.
This West Hills woman says that her and her husband then ran to their backyard.
We ran out here, we turned on the lights, we ran out, nobody was here. So I then went back to the cameras, and you see them here for about an hour.
Not only did she see suspicious flashlights on her security camera video, but she also saw a drone flying over her backyard.
That's why, you know, I'm panicked and whatever. So what I did is we went
Well, I
out
mean,
and
she
got
has a
all
large
the lights.
backyard.
Like you see the floodlights, and I've got motion cameras and putting it up today.
And you got a pit bull.
And I got a pit bull. Second pit bull. I already have one. I just rescued a second one.
She tells us this is particularly frightening after burglars broke into her home last November.
It's beyond scary. It
that's
angers
probably why.
me, you know?
Right,
You
they
feel
already broke.
violated,
It's
especially
probably
when you see
repeat
them
offenders.
walking in your yard
Right, since they already
at
broke in
nighttime with
again. Right,
flashlights.
broke in once.
She
They
says
think they could
got
do it
away with her
again.
safe that had several pieces of jewelry, which were cherished family heirlooms.
You know, it's not even the monetary part of it. It's things from my mom. She passed away in 2012, so I had a lot of things from her that I was going to give to my grandkids. So it's heartbreaking.
Oh, well, now they pawned it off.
And she says what makes
Or
this
gave
even
it to, like, their
scarier
loved
is that the
ones.
burglars that stole her safe in November have
Unfortunately.
still not been caught. For now, reporting live here in West Hills, Mary Beth McDade.
I mean,
We'll
that's
send
what
it back to you
happens.
guys in this studio.
Yeah, especially
Mary
in
Beth, thank you.
California, right, you do have to watch out because there have been incidences of people like placing cameras to track people and shit, or putting like Apple Air tags and shit on people. Yeah, that's just the criminal underbelly.
The Democratic Policy and Communications Committee is providing independent journalist Don Lemon with a congressional staff escort so he can live stream his show from Capitol Hill. The
Don
DPCC staff members
Lemon.
are allowing Lemon into places he wouldn't otherwise be permitted because he doesn't have a credential. Lemon streamed his show for nearly 3 hours Tuesday
So he got
afternoon.
canceled.
During that time, he broke multiple rules that credentialed journalists must follow. For instance, he followed members of Congress up the stairs and he live streamed from the cafeteria. He even admitted at the end of his show that he doesn't know if he'll be allowed to do it again.
You saw what happened on the Capitol steps. We'll see with Nancy Mace and all of that. We'll see if we are allowed to do that again.
Journalists on Capitol Hill were perplexed by the arrangement.
Because you're not a
They've never
paid
seen
journalist
Democratic
by the
staff
news
members
media.
facilitating a
Let's say.
journalist show before.
You're just an
Lemon
independent
told us he's trying to get
shill
credentialed through the Senate press gallery.
who sucks at their job and lies all the
We're not
fucking
here all
time.
the time.
Oh, you're not
we
here
come
all-
in and out, yeah. We're
Oh, okay.
independent media, so we go in and out.
Did you know that Speaker Johnson, though, asked the press gallery to try to help more independent people just like you get a credential?
He should.
Yes.
Yeah.
One more question.
Yeah,
The
he
DPCC
should, yeah.
staffer who's escorting you, is there an agreement of any type to put out a certain type of content for that?
No.
Okay.
There's no agreement. That we just.
It's funny. Straight Arrow
Well, I hope
News
you
is
get
that.
I hope you get a credential. SCN reached out to the DPCC
Dale
and asked if
Mo.
Lemon is paying for the staff members' time or if they've ever facilitated other journalist shows before. We've not yet heard back. I'm Ray Bogan for Straight Arrow News. For more reporting straight from our nation's capital, download the SAN app.
Well, there you have it. What do you got here?
Well, he was just picking up his child from school, and sadly, it was for the last time after a father is stabbed near a San Francisco elementary school earlier this week. Tonight, police say they have arrested a suspect, and that it was technology that helped lead them to that person several counties away. NBC Barry's Sergio Quintana reports from San Francisco's Terravale neighborhood.
Witnesses and police investigators tell us the stabbing happened at the intersection of Ocean Avenue and Junipero Serra Boulevard near Commodore Sloat Elementary around 4:30 on Wednesday. In video posted on the Citizen app, you can see emergency vehicles in the intersection.
A tragic, horrific incident occurred during school pickup. A father lost his life.
That father has been identified by the medical examiner as 35-year-old Robert Paul Bird II. His family declined to talk about the attack or the arrest today. Investigators have also declined to share details about what led up to the fatal stabbing, saying the investigation is still in progress. But the district attorney did try to address residents' concerns about this fatal stabbing of a father walking with his child.
We're not going to give specific details. What I do want to reassure the public, though, is that this was not a random act of violence.
San Francisco police investigators turned to technology to help identify and track the suspect. And this morning at about 8:30, 42-year-old Daniel Patrick Rodriguez was arrested in Tuolumne County.
We used our technology resources, like our ALPR, automated license plate reader cameras, a drone, and other tools to identify and locate him.
Almost immediately after the stabbing, the staff at Commodore Sloat Elementary activated security protocols and brought all students still on campus into the building. The superintendent of schools says they're now sending counselors from the district and Department of Public Health to support students and the victim's family. The superintendent also says they've now held 3 community meetings for parents and their family. But now, 2 days after this fatal stabbing, even with the arrest of a suspect, some parents still say they are rattled. Grandparent Taya Gorin says she'd like to see more public safety resources around the school.
They don't have police, they don't have anybody to secure it because it means
they don't have anybody to secure, yes?
This is my opinion.
The district attorney says they're still trying to determine the exact charges the suspect Daniel Patrick Rodriguez will be facing. In San Francisco,
Eastern Europe,
NBC Bay Area News.
Maybe Russia region, Ukraine region. Shit, sorry. Anyways, what's this? Ice floods Chicago in Operation Midway Blitz. Yeah, so this is the Chicago operation they were talking about. I think they were going to Memphis, and then they're going to branch out from there, right? I guess. Includes arrest for DUI, resisting a police officer, and vehicular burglary. Ice Road X, they arrested Wilmer Amador. DUI. 2024. He's doing immigration. No. No, ¿dónde está? No habla español, señor. No, Ms.
Face one? Yeah, I can try it.
Sure. As a federal team arrested a criminal illegal alien with a warrant for a shooting homicide. Oh shit. They got the SWAT and everything. Oh shit, do you see this guy? This guy's got like the Tarkov armor and shit on. Here's the what I'm saying. DHS took violent offenders off the streets with the arrest of assault, DUI, and felony stalking. Uh-oh. Oh, shit. They're all old people too. Well, most of them are. This guy's like in his 40s, 50s. The other guy was like in his 30s.
Yep.
All right, there we have it. What do we got here? Well, let's check out some
That'll be the least of your
crazy
worries.
shit on the interweb.
I don't like clowns.
Migrant who raped girl 14 can't be deported because prison cell might be too small. What? Huh? No, you put that guy in jail. Oh, that's the UK. That's why. As usual. Established agricultural civilization in South Africa in 1652. The tallest structure were built by termites. Not subsequent. What the fuck is this guy talking about? Netflix cast Alexander Abdallah to play the King of Sweden, Gustav III. Huh? That's crazy. Gustav III was a Anyways, being the last German in her class didn't just make Yara stand out. It made her a target, bullied, excluded, and in the end, stabbed by a classmate. Wait, what? Is this the future you want for your children? Wait, what? The daughter Yara is the only one in her class who speaks German. Oh, fuck. That's insane. That's wild, dude.
Like, the United States is kind of trash.
Okay.
Doesn't treat its people well.
Uh-huh. This is the person who's living freely off that free speech and everything, right? Yeah, wild, huh?
You know?
How so?
I don't know.
When asked how so, they're just like, oh, I don't know. This is how I feel. I don't feel safe. I just feel like America shits on everybody.
I don't really know
What
why
are you
you're
talking
having
about?
this. Do you want to have a conversation?
Well, that's why I'm asking you. How so?
What do you mean?
You said the United States treats its people like trash, so I was just asking how.
I mean, right now, how many people are suffering because they can't afford health care? Let's start with there. How about?
Got it. Well, Trump just slashed prescription drug prices by 50 to 80%.
So that
are you
prescription
unhappy with
drug
that?
sellers can raise their prices. I mean, he's just working for capitalism.
What? Well, he actually isn't taking a salary. And he's also lost $1 billion in his net worth from the first administration when the first time he ran.
He's taking money from literally anyone who will pay for his stupid coin, his what is it? Trump coin?
Oh, the
coin? I don't know.
Yeah, she's talking about the dumb meme.
Are you upset with him making money?
You can't. No self-control. Female.
Yeah. Having, right, see, this is what Charlie Kirk did. See, this is why you can't have nice right? You can't have a genuine conversation with certain people because they just get fucking aggro, right?
And that is a fact. Staring you right in the face. We have seen an alleged murder with such specific text messages about the alleged murder weapon, where it was hidden, how it was placed, what was on it, but also it was very touching. And
yeah, when he said this shit, I was like, what the
in a way
fuck?
that I think many of us didn't expect. A very intimate portrait into this relationship between
Very
the suspect's
touching. Fuck
roommate
you,
and
weirdo.
the suspect himself, with him repeatedly calling his roommate, who is transitioning calling him my love, and I want to protect you, my love. So it was this duality of someone who the attorney said not only jeopardized the life of Charlie Kirk and the crowd, but
he was trying to humanize the fucking killer right there.
Circumstances of this case, and on the other hand,
he's trying to humanize the assassin that
so lovingly
did
about his
a
partner.
heinous
So
crime.
very interesting, and as Pierre said, riveting press conference, David.
It was time.
Feminism,
Never gonna win an argument with you, am I?
Woke is
if
feminism.
you were gonna get the job done, there were two better candidates. When that happens, and it will. It will.
Holy shit, she cackles like a fucking witch.
That'll be the least of your worries.
Man, she should play a witch. My goodness. Florida nurse. Wait, what? Florida nurse at HCAFL Healthcare posts deranged message celebrating Charlie's assassination. Ooh. I'm cheering on for the assassination. I don't mind saying it. He was a bastard, deserves to be amongst the dead. Should have been tortured. Yeah, you don't want to say that. Don't want to say that. That's suspicious as fuck.
Back. I have the best news ever.
What? Donald Trump died?
Second best news.
The vice president died?
Okay, third best news.
That Elon Musk died?
Okay, no.
What the fuck?
Nobody died. My best friend's getting married.
Which one is it?
Taylor Swift! Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce got engaged! Back.
They're sick. They're also hollow.
Godless horde.
Yeah,
a lot of people are talking.
Yeah, I saw that Twitter post circling around, but I didn't want to watch it because I was just like, that's kind of gross. To use your kids like that, just like, Jesus fuck, you're a fucking weirdo.
About we can't become like that. Shut up. Shut your fucking mouth. We have been playing by the rules and it's gotten us killed. And it's made them emboldened and brazen and feel that they could get away with anything. So I don't want to hear it from you. You are a liability because you're at war with savages who don't respect the sanctity of human life.
Right, they're
and
barbaric.
You're trying to uphold abstract moral principles.
They're acting
you're
like
a
savages.
liability.
A liability.
Because they were under the impression that they were safe, that victory was theirs, you saw them act exactly the way that they would act if they had total
they
power.
act like hackling
if they
witches.
actually had that power that they believed they had. They would dance on your grave.
Right, from the
They would
Salem witch.
call for your
We should bring back the
to
Salem
be
witch
also
trial.
treated as such as they did. They
Oh, I'm
actually
blocking
started
her.
calling
Oh no, I'm
for somebody
sorry.
to assassinate his wife now, and for his kids to be taken and raised in a home where they could be properly educated, aka brainwashed to believe what they believe. They openly taunted and cheered, said he deserved it, said that more should suffer his fate, started saying it's too bad it wasn't Trump. So these are the people.
Oh
that
yeah,
you wanna
these people.
show
Yeah,
mercy to?
I saw this
You're
post
lose.
circling around
You're
too.
going to lose like that. And I'm aware that the government itself could go ahead and take this and use it against us, as they are trying to do and have been trying to do for anybody who wants to be critical of our greatest ally. 100% they will do that. This is why you cannot allow them to win. And by them, I mean all of our enemies, not just the radical leftists.
It can't be bargained with. It can't be reasoned with.
Oh,
Are you
true.
happy? Show me your smile.
There you have it. If you want to see
Your mom
more,
looks like a dog.
Dodge.
doggos
Can you
for the
spot a
palate
dumbass
cleanser.
bitch?
Right. All right, and then let's see memes of the week.
Hey everybody,
Close it
welcome
off.
to another episode of Memes of the Week. The best thing you can do for this channel is beat the like button like it owes you money before watching this, so it reaches a wider audience. Also, before I get on with the memes, first a word from today's sponsor, the MGTOW Book Collection Part 2. Whether you're getting camel toe in Cambodia, banging babes and burqas in Turkey, or taking Polaroids of ladyboys in Thailand. Luca Vendetti has a series of books to make you live the dream. His new 3-booklet series includes How to Live on 500. Use the promo sponsor, link is down below. Australian reality number 1 if you ever
ads.
Now on with the memes. Number 1, if you ever needed another reason to go your own
Oh,
way from women, then look at
whoa!
this
Reality
Australian
TV
reality
star charged
television
with
star,
decapitating
charged with
boyfriend.
decapitating
Holy
her boyfriend.
shit!
I guess she probably didn't like giving head, so she decided to take it instead.
Yeah, that's wild.
She was carrying around his cranium in a bag. Maybe she should change her name to Praying Mantis or Black Widow or something. Yet the
she's a
media
femme
and women
fatale.
will still try and convince us that only men are violent towards women. Up next, we have a woman that says she was raped by another woman. Even if all men were neutered, women would still find reasons to complain about each other. I dated a girl in high school and her sister used to work at a retail clothing store. And one of my female friends went into the changing room in that store,
So you got
and my
pressed
girlfriend's
by a
sister tried to
lesbian,
grate my
and then-
female
but you
friend in
weren't
the
a
changing
lesbian,
room.
you're
To her,
wrong,
that was
but
basically feeling up her
you still
erogenous
came on.
zones. Number 3, the delusional left used to think that the military would stand up to Trump, and they say now that they're wrong. But the majority of American military personnel
Wait,
voted for
what?
Trump.
Why would
they
the
turn on him?
military stand
They're
up to
trying
Trump?
to
What
push
the
that there
fuck?
must be some
What?
kind of military coup or something, or that the military should make a coup against Trump. Their Trump derangement syndrome is so bad
Yeah,
that they
it's
don't
like,
care
what?
if there's a civil war as long as Trump goes away.
Yeah, that would be
Moving
insane.
on,
A
remember
coup
that the
against your
unvaxxed
own
aren't
fucking
dangerous because
president?
they spread disease, but because we're critical thinkers and resist what the government wants us to do. Critical thinking and resistance go
Because they
against their
spread
agenda.
disease,
In
they are
Canada, only
considered
9% of
dangerous
people
because
say
they
they didn't
spread
get at least
critical
one dose
thinking
of the
and
jab.
resistance.
And you can sure
Two
bet the
things
government put those
fear
people on
the
a
most.
list of those who would potentially disobey them. I'm on that list and I don't care. Number 5, Sweden has made it into the top 10 countries with grapes per capita. Gee, I wonder why something like this could happen. It must be all that toxic masculinity and manspreading causing it.
Well, I mean,
It's a
also when
real
you have
Scooby-Doo
like
mystery. But we all know exactly why it's
prostitution,
happening.
where it's like
When you
free.
import the third world, you become the third world. Looks
They
like
get
they've got a
you
massive
rights,
invasion
they
of
get put
Tyrones and
into,
Mohammeds.
human
Then again, these stats
trafficking.
might also be cooked because in
So that's
Sweden
why
the
there's a
definition
high
of
amount of
grape might
grapes,
mean
right?
anything.
Human trafficking.
Up next, Beyond
cases.
Meat has now gone bankrupt. What will Bill Gates do now that it's gone? How will he ever get us to eat the bugs?
Beyond Meat.
Then again, I
it's
wouldn't have put it
dying.
past him to have shorted this stock knowing that people wouldn't eat it at all. That little guy is a sneaky mofo. I also bet that some fast food restaurants out there were probably using fake meat and weren't telling customers. And it makes me
Probably.
wonder if people could tell the difference when they didn't know. Number 7 looks like it's back to fat land for
They
many
were
people.
probably mixing, right? They were
1,800 people
buying
developed a
it was
horrific
like
disease overnight.
the ratio
literally
at
by
which they
taking
were
the
mixing it
Ozempic.
with.
They went to bed and woke up
Ozempic.
permanently blind. And now the company making the drug is about to get sued into oblivion. You just know that even with the side effect, most people will still be willing to gamble their eyesight to be thin using it instead of hitting the treadmill and doing portion control. People are crazy. Moving on, is this woman too big
I
for
mean, you
you?
even have
Too
people
big
who
to
are
introduce to
who
family
don't
and friends,
even
but not
need
too big to
Ozempic
have
to
some fun
use
with.
it, or
Plus, I'd also have to
who
invest in a
look
thicker, firmer
fucking
mattress and bed
anorexic
frame.
or some
Otherwise, there might be
like
some
what?
issues.
You have body
She also looks like
dysmorphia?
she's
Are you
easier to
okay?
roll rather than to push into the bedroom.
Doctor.
This picture also looks like it was taken just moments before those heels were crushed to a pulp. Seriously though, she looks like Pookie bait. Number 9, a United Air flight had to be canceled after this female passenger had biohazard diarrhea.
Oh yeah, I heard
that
about
destroyed
that.
the
Yeah.
bathroom. Now everyone knows that she has a problem doing a number 2.
Yeah, this
Why
one
in the
was
hell
like
did
a
she
couple
agree to
weeks
have this
back or
picture
a month back
published?
or something like
And if
that.
she didn't, I'd sue the Daily Mail for
Yeah,
embarrassing me
she
like
full
this.
on
Imagine what her kids are going to
diarrhea
think Googling her in
squirted all
another 10 to 15 years. Up next, some
That
people say this
doo-doo
guy's
butter
going to
all
hell for
over
doing this. What's
all
he
over
got
the
there in his
walls,
hand?
just like
A
Dumb
high-calorie
and Dumber.
human or some ice cream. It looks amazing to me that a cone that small can support such a massive load of soft serve. This one
That's
is an oldie
fucked
but a
up.
goodie. I think it's been around for 15 years now, since I first saw it. If this guy was in Germany or the UK, he would have been arrested even though he did this 15 years ago now. Number 11, someone says that allergies are nearly unavoidable, but that the Amish are immune to them. Allergies develop when you're exposed to things that your immune
Well,
system
I mean,
doesn't
yeah,
like,
because
and then
they're
goes
like
haywire.
outside all the
But
time.
isn't it also possible that the reason the Amish don't
Working.
have allergies is because they don't go to doctors all that often or report them? Also, when you live a tough life full of physical labor, you got bigger pains than just the sniffles.
Also, they
Moving on, it
don't
looks
they
like white
don't they don't
lefties are
take
the only
like
group in the world
flu
that has
shots and
outgrew
stuff like
preference
that
for other races
sometimes,
and
right?
ethnicities. Why do you suppose that is? Probably because of the leftoid media beating white guilt into their heads. In other
Their
words,
medicine is
ethnomasochism.
very
As far as I'm concerned, a white liberal is more dangerous to other white people than anything else on the planet. We all know that it's caused by woke Marxism. Number 13, we're clearly being gaslit that inflation is only 2.7%. Meanwhile, food inflation has been closer to 20% the last 5 years, because that's essentially the thing that everyone needs to buy. This is the clearest sign to me that inflation has not been stopped, and that at this point, they're just lying about it and gaslighting us. This is also at Costco. Looks like we actually know why the stock price has been rising so much.
You also had
Up next
Canada
is the new
land
Trump
get
White House
fucked up
tagged
because
here
of
terrific. One thing's for sure,
right,
though, if Biden had done this, it would be the greatest thing to ever happen to
Mr.
America.
Fidel
I don't
Castro.
like it, but it still looks better than what Biden had before.
Trudeau.
Here's a picture of Trump and Ivana
I
in
think
Russia
they're
back
still
in
having
1987.
issues with
Now you know
right.
what inspired the Golden Oval Office restoration. For
The
some reason, the
truckers.
French and the Russians
Hey,
also
they're-
use
right.
way too much
The
color
supply,
and gold
right?
in their
There's been an
interior
issue with the
design and
supply chain
architecture.
ever since.
Number 15, there are
Like the
countless
Biden
articles
shit. I
condemning
mean, it's
passport
getting
bros,
better
but it's okay
nowadays,
when a woman
but,
like this
yeah.
goes solo traveling.
I mean, ever
and
since
has
the
a
bridges
boyfriend
got
in every
fucked up
city.
too, right?
Women traveling to use men are empowered, but men traveling to marry a
I was
feminine
like,
woman is
a
considered
lot of shit has
oppression.
happened, right?
Looks like the war between passport bros and passport hoes is heating up. And just like that, thousands of potential husbands will rule this woman out for unholy matrimony. Moving on, this guy says he loves Fight Club, and I guess instead of imagining Tyler Durden, he's imagining this woman instead.
Yeah.
So what does he do when he becomes her? Does he put on a dress and go around banging dudes or something? Because, you know, it would definitely be awkward if
Yeah,
he ever
because
found out that he was Tina
the
Durden
main
as
guy
well. You know that if they ever made a
basically
remake
has
of
a-
Fight Club, it would be something dumb like
what's this
this. Because women ruin everything.
Yeah, it has
Number
him in his head.
17, now women are starting to wonder if men aren't the problem in dating, then who is? Of
Men
course,
aren't
they'll
the
never
problem.
admit that their sky-high expectations are to blame.
It
Or the
is
fact that they
women
have
who,
way too much
need to
power to
calm the
destroy a
fuck down.
man's life through divorce or trapping him with child support payments.
Maybe you should
or by
blame the
wrecking his life
government
through a
for
false
your
allegation. I want to read the
hormonal
rest of this,
issues.
but I
don't
can't
know.
because I don't want to give Evie Magazine my email or my phone number. Up next, here's that look you get on your face when the government cuts you off from your food stamps when you make
Oh,
$22,000
no.
a month from your OF accounts. But to be honest, would she really care about losing her food stamps after making that much money? Men want to see her suffer, but in reality, she's not going to suffer making $250,000 a year taking her clothes off for cash.
True.
Number 19, this woman thinks that she looks 23, even though she's 31, because she doesn't have any children.
Oh.
No, she's delusional, and the only reason her
what?
skin looks this good is because she's got some filters on
yeah,
that face.
what?
And to be honest, when I first saw this picture, I thought she was older and somewhere around late 30s, early 40s, with an attitude problem and a mother.
Yeah, she's
She
got
also looks depressed to me and
right
has
her
ridiculous lip fillers.
face
Moving on,
right,
and speaking of depression, studies
structure
suggest
has
that sperm is a
changed to
natural
where
antidepressant for
you
women.
look like you're
So I
in
guess
your
now we know why their notch counts are so
midlife.
high. But then again, I don't believe that, because if it were true, then those corn stars wouldn't be offing themselves. To be fair, though, sex is an antidepressant for everyone. Or it creates a dopamine addiction because after you gain satisfaction from it, shortly thereafter you
Wait,
require
what?
more.
How's, what?
Number
An
21 in Japan, if you're a
antidepressant? I'm sorry,
25-year-old
what?
woman, you're called a leftover Christmas cake.
Oh, because you're getting
Because they
kids?
remain unwanted after December 25th. But what I want to know is, how do we
Leftover
normalize
in
this sort of
reference to
behavior
items
in
that
the
remain
West?
unsold.
The only
No
way is to make it
lotions.
socially
Jesus.
unacceptable to date women over the age
That's
of 25,
fucked up.
which then forces women to get married.
Yeah.
Or so you'd hope. Because in Japan, just because women get older doesn't mean they find husbands.
Basically, you
And their
become a
fertility
hag
collapse
at
continues
25
unabated.
years of age.
Up next here are the
in,
hobbies that
I
women
guess in
find the most attractive
anime
in men.
Japan terms.
Reading, speaking a foreign language, and playing an
Right.
instrument are all at the top. And if you're trying to woo some woman, then combine hobbies
Or it's the
that they all
fact
seem
that
to
right
like.
there's
For
a
example,
right
travel
there's
while doing
a
photography
population of
and in a
men
country where you speak another language.
that
Also remember that
love
women will
young
find any
women,
hobby you do
right,
attractive if you look
that are
like
not
this.
25
Number
years of
23 in
age.
Canada, there are signs telling
Right.
people to be courteous to
Yeah,
Muslim
I'll
neighbors
say.
by keeping your filthy dogs away from them. Remember that once there are enough Muslims, they'll completely ban dogs in your area, even if you wanted to have one. If you want to live dangerously, then just invite them over to your backyard here for a cookout
shit.
with cheeseburgers smothered in bacon. Moving on, here's the difference between capitalism and socialism. In socialism, everything is free, but there's nothing to consume. Meanwhile, in capitalism, you have to pay for everything, but there's a ton of stock to purchase.
True.
I like this meme a lot better that in socialism, you line up for the bread. Meanwhile, in capitalism, the bread lines up for you. Number 25 and the last one, Why is it that women's version of romance is men dominating them physically
Oh
and
no, the
causing them
50
pain?
Shades of
While
Grey
men's
or
version of
the
romance is dancing or
the
poetry.
weird
Why do women enjoy
choking
being dominated
fetishes
so
or
much?
hurt
Although the
me
last
daddy
few women I
fetishes. I
dated
don't
didn't
know.
want to be
Fucking-
dominated and gave me stern warnings not to do so. But they actually were all boss babes. The feminine women are usually far more submissive. But most of the
Hey,
time she
they got
wants
a picture
WWE
of
and he wants ballroom
Expedition.
dancing.
He got a picture of
So that's
Expedition
it for another
33
memes
there.
of the week. Please give this video a like to push it up in the algorithm, and so new
Well,
viewers
there
can
you
find
have it.
it.
That
If you enjoy
is,
this series and want me to keep
right,
making
Sandman
it, then
2.
donate it to PayPal and subscribe. Our links below. Anyways, enjoy the rest of your day.
There you have it. For the inflation question, they removed food and energy prices from the consumer price index because they were too volatile. So if food and gasoline prices quadruple, but the price of yachts falls 4%, then the inflation rate is considered to closer 4% than 400%. Forcing women to get married by a certain age is just going to result in more divorces, correct? I mean, because it doesn't work for everybody. I hate to say it, but there's no blanket fix, right? There's no blanket general fix that's going to fix this situation, right? There's two, right? When you have people who are individual and individuality, right? You're not gonna have this hive mind where it's like, oh yeah, this is gonna have to happen, yeah. And then, yeah, you're going to have, yeah, exactly. You're just going to have more divorce rates regardless of, right? I mean, there's already high divorce rates even now without this, right? Most women today aren't built to be wives. Yeah, basically, true. Yeah, there's tons of women who don't, right, get into relationships, right? Same with men. There's certain men who don't get into relationships anymore. As soon as things get rough, they leave divorce. Yeah. Chads in 20s, cats in 30s, ghosts in 40s, begging in 50s. Jesus. That's one way to put it. That 31-year-old who thinks she's 23 thinks she looks 23 is nuts. Anyways, there you have it. I will leave all the stuff in the all the sources in the description so you can check them out. But yeah, that is gonna do it for the fast news, or check out worldwide news.